Welcome again to Gilbert and Sullivan Radio Theater. This is your host, Jerry Tracy. In each segment, we present music and dialogue highlights from the 14 comic masterpieces of Gilbert and Sullivan in chronological order.
Not quite in chronological order. You started with Pirates of Penzance.
Ladies and gentlemen, our resident expert on matters GNS, Dr. G. Thothwaite Pompazars.
Pompuzar, you grudge-listening airhead. Accent on the third syllable. It's Anglo-Norman, you know.
Yes, as I was saying...
Pirates is the fifth one, not the first.
We turn today to the conclusion of The Pirates of Penzance.
Their fifth collaboration, you Philistine.
Understanding that some of you may not have been able to tune in to Act 1, we now present the official Gilbert and Sullivan Radio Theater Act 1 plot summary. Maestro, if you please. We'd like to summarize the plot of this engaging masterpiece. In all of G&S's works, you'll never find a faster piece. The play begins on board a ship that's sailing off the Cornwall coast. Its crew are all the truest, bravest, honest sailors. Well, almost. They're pirates, if the truth be known, the famous pirates of Penzance. They're not so very bad, you know. They're just the pawns of circumstance. For instance, they will never fire on a ship which they outgun. And will not harm an orphan, forfan, please forgive the pun.
They will not harm an orphan, forfan, please forgive the pun. They will not harm an orphan, forfan, please forgive the pun. They will not harm an orphan, forfan, please forgive the pun.
The pirate king commands his crew with his lieutenant Samuel. The pirates cheer young Frederick's turning 21 with whoop and yell. But his indentures ended, and he must respond to duty's call. So calmly he announces his intention to destroy them all.
His indentures ended, and he must respond to duty's call. So calmly he announces his intention to destroy them all.
The pirates hear young Frederick's threat with more aplomb than you'd expect. As pirates go, this hearty band of thieves is rather circumspect. They wish him well and set him free on two conditions. Here's the first, that he will kill them painlessly. The second, that he take his nurse. That's Ruth who got him in this mess, because her hearing's not too good. His dad wish he be prenticed to a pilot, she misunderstood. Now Frederick's never seen another female's face except for Ruth. And she's hoodwinked him into thinking she is fair, that's not the truth.
She's hoodwinked him into thinking she is fair, that's not the truth. She's hoodwinked him into thinking she is fair, that's not the truth. Are you suggesting I would take advantage of poor Frederick's tender youth? Yes!
Sure, our Frederick learns the truth when he beholds young Mabel's face. The pirates also see her and her sisters and commence a chase. Their father, Major General Stanley, intercedes to save them all. He tells the pirates he's an orphan, and for that old fib they fall.
Father, Major General Stanley, intercedes to save them all. He tells the pirates he's an orphan, and for that old fib they fall.
And now to Act 2 of The Pirates of Penzance.
Now, just a minute there. Do you really expect anyone to follow that ludicrous plot summary, you airhead?
Objection noted, Doctor. The Act 2 curtain rises to discover a ruined chapel by moonlight. Ruined Gothic windows fill the background. A sleepless, guilt-ridden Major General Stanley is consoled by Mabel,
Oh, Daddy.
Kate,
I don't think you're a liar, Daddy.
Edith, and his other daughters, as Frederick dashes in, bedecked as a police officer.
Oh, Frederick, cannot you, in the calm excellence of your wisdom, reconcile it with your conscience to say something that will relieve my father's sorrow?
I will try, dear Mabel. But why does he sit night after night in this drafty old ruin?
Why do I sit here? To escape from the pirates' clutches, I described myself as an orphan. And heaven help me, I am no orphan. I come here to humble myself before the tombs of my ancestors and to implore their pardon for having brought dishonor on the family escutcheon.
But you forget, sir, you only bought the property a year ago, and the stucco in your baronial hall is scarcely dry.
Frederick, in this chapel are ancestors. You cannot deny that. With the estate, I bought the chapel and its contents. I don't know whose ancestors they were, but I know whose ancestors they are. And I shudder to think that the descendant by purchase, if I may so describe myself, should have brought disgrace upon what I have no doubt was an unstained escutcheon.
Be comforted. Had you not acted as you did, these reckless men would assuredly have called in the nearest clergyman and have married your large family on the spot.
I thank you for your proffered solace, but it is unavailing. I assure you, Frederick, that such is the anguish and remorse I feel at the abominable falsehood by which I escaped these easily deluded pirates, that I would go to their simple-minded chief this very night and confess all, did I not fear that the consequences would be most disastrous to myself. At what time does your expedition march against these scoundrels?
At 11, and before midnight I hope to have atoned for my involuntary association with the pestilent scourges by sweeping them from the face of the earth. And then, dear Mabel, you will be mine. Excuse me, sir, just one moment, please.
Are your devoted followers at hand?
They are. They only wait my orders.
Then, Frederick, let your escort, lion-hearted, be summoned to receive a general's blessing ere they depart upon their dread adventure.
Dear sir, they come.
As the brave policemen march off to their dread fate, Mabel tears herself from Frederick,
Oh, dear.
and her sisters tear themselves from Major General Stanley, leaving Frederick alone.
Here I am, all alone. On center stage. Time for a nice soliloquy. Oh, fearful fate!
But he is not alone for long.
No. Oh, rats.
Creeping on tiptoe, out from the darkness appear the Pirate King and Ruth.
Oh, hello.
And they are both training their flintlocks at Frederick's unusually small head.
Oh!
They have come to tell Frederick a little joke.
A paradox.
A paradox?
A most ingenious paradox.
A paradox.
The king explains.
You see, Frederick, every 4th year is a leap year, in which the month of February, which ordinarily has 28 days, has 29 instead.
Aha! A most ingenious paradox. Thank you both so much for sharing it.
Wait, that's not the paradox.
No?
It seems, Frederick, that you had the dubious distinction of having been born on February 29th during a leap year.
Why, that's true.
And so, although you have lived 21 years, still, if we go by birthdays...
You're only a little boy of 5.
I wanted to tell him that. You're only a little boy of 5.
A little boy of 5. Now that's a paradox for you. Well, I must be off. Thanks again for sharing.
Wait! I don't think you appreciate your situation, young man.
Little boy, you might have said.
You were apprenticed to us.
Until I reached my 21st year.
No, until you reached your 21st birthday. And going by birthdays, you are as yet only 5 1/4.
You don't mean to say you are going to hold me to that?
No, we merely remind you of the fact and leave the rest to your sense of duty.
Your sense of duty.
Don't put it on that footing. As I was merciful to you just now, be merciful to me. I implore you not to insist on the letter of your bond just as the cup of happiness is at my lips.
We insist on nothing. We content ourselves with pointing out to you your duty.
Your duty.
Well, you have appealed to my sense of duty, and my duty is only too clear. I abhor your infamous calling. I shudder at the thought that I have ever been mixed up with it. But duty is before all. At any price, I will do my duty.
Bravely spoken. Come, you are one of us once more.
Lead on, I follow. Oh, horror!
What's the matter?
Ought I to tell you? No, I cannot do it. And yet as one of your band...
Speak out. I charge you by that sense of conscientiousness to which we have never yet appealed in vain.
General Stanley, the father of Mabel.
Yes.
He escaped from you on the plea that he was an orphan.
He did.
It breaks my heart to betray the honored father of the girl I adore. But as your apprentice, I have no alternative. It is my duty to tell you that General Stanley is no orphan.
What?
More than that, he never was one.
Am I to understand that, to save his contemptible life, he dared practice on our credulous simplicity? Mm-hmm. Our revenge shall be swift and terrible. We will go and collect our band and attract Tremorden Castle this very night.
But stay!
Not a word. He's doomed.
As the king and Ruth storm off to prepare a terrible revenge, Mabel enters,
I'm here.
and Frederick tells her of the sad turn of events.
And so, Mabel, I will not reach my 21st birthday until 1940.
Oh, horror!
Frederick leaps away to rejoin his piratical comrades. The policemen march in, still manfully attempting to brace themselves for the approaching battle with the pirates.
Sergeant, approach. Young Freddy was to have led you to death and glory.
That is not a pleasant way of putting it.
Well, no matter. He will not so lead you, for he has allied himself once more with his old associates.
He has acted shamefully.
You speak falsely. You know nothing about it. He has acted nobly.
He has acted nobly.
Dearly as I loved him before, his heroic sacrifice to his sense of duty has endeared him to me tenfold. He has done his duty. I will do mine. Go ye and do yours.
Right-o.
This is perplexing.
We cannot understand it at all.
Still, as he is actuated by a sense of duty...
That makes a difference, of course. At the same time, we repeat, we cannot understand it at all.
No matter. Our course is clear. We must do our best to capture these pirates alone. It's most distressing to us to be the agents whereby our erring fellow creatures are deprived of that liberty which is so dear to all. But we should have thought of that before we joined the force.
We should.
It's too late now.
Just then, they hear the stealthy approach of the pirate band.
A rollicking band of pirates we.
The brave policemen, ever steadfast, proceed to
Hide!
cleverly conceal themselves as the pirates enter cautiously and quietly, carrying their burglars' tools. Each pirate knows that absolute silence is crucial to the success of their terrible enterprise.
Shut up!
Meanwhile, the object of the pirates' vengeful quest, Major General Stanley, wanders on, still in his night-robe, and utterly oblivious to the danger that awaits him. He croons a gentle moonlight song to the brook and to the poplars,
sighing softly to the river.
which, however, I never really thought was one of Sullivan's best.
Oh.
Out from their hiding spots suddenly leap the pirates! And the brave policemen prepare for grim battle. And a terrible battle ensues. Oh no, the pirates have seized the Major General.
Unhand me, you scoundrels! Daddy. I am an orphan, remember?
Oh, no, you don't.
Oh! I am sad indeed to have to relate, dear listeners, that the policemen are completely subdued by their piratical foes. But wait! An idea occurs to the sagacious sergeant.
It does?
And so virtue once again triumphs over evil, and the pirates resume their sedentary careers. Please join us next time when we present Thespis.
The first of the G&S operettas, may I add?
You may not.
Well, then I'll be quiet.
Our thanks to the KBCS players. Dr. Pompazar was played by Jeff Hogan. Bill Mott played Major General Stanley. John Moore played the King. Peter Lewis played Frederick. The Sergeant was portrayed by Gary Jones. Mabel by Meredith Hunt. Edith by Honor Moore. And Kate by Deidre Kilgore, with Penelope Vrikopoulos as Ruth. Our musical highlights were drawn principally from the London recording of the soloists, chorus, and orchestra of the D'Oyly Carte Opera Company, conducted by Isidore Godfrey. Our production engineer was Gary Davis. Mabel and Frederick's duet was from the EMI recording featuring Elsie Morrison and Richard Lewis. We invite you